Well, hello there, Vlad here. Welcome to my studio. Today we're checking out the Boss IR-2. As I quickly run you through the specs, it's 2 channels. You trigger between those with the foot switch. There's an effects loop as well, and you can run mono in and stereo out, which is really cool. The 2 channels are kind of independent from each other, so if you take this amplifier, for example, and tweak the settings, it remembers them, click the button, and then tweak the settings again. And you can use the second channel and you trigger it between the 2 to bypass the whole thing. Just hold the foot switch. Simple. Other things worth mentioning is that this thing has a headphones out, there's a USB-C out as well, and you can use that USB connection to upload your own IRs, for example, and also use this thing as an audio interface as well. I should also mention that Boss did provide me this pedal and I get to keep it as compensation for my work. However, the company has no say in the things I mentioned in this video. But now with the specs, I want to find out how this thing works in a studio setting and see what kind of tones I can get for a track. So let's get riding. Alright, I got my telly and let's get riding. This guitar is in drop D, so let's write something in drop D, I guess. Let me browse through some of the sounds. I think that's a twin, yes. It's kind of cool. I'm feeling that. Maybe like this. Wait, how do you count it? 3. That's what you kids could call progressive music, like 1, 2. Da 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 da. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so that could be the intro. Not sure where it builds up next, but let's record something like that maybe. A bit more gain even. Ooh, I like this. And the way this works is that the thinner knobs are kind of this row and the lower ones are here. So if I want to have less bass, I rotate the lower one. If I want to have all the bass, I can do that as well. I've been recording enough that I know that this sound will work, but what it needs is to put some sort of tube screamer or an overdrive in front of it. So let's do just that. Alright, I got my telly and I've also added the Caroline Pure Sky overdrive to, well, use it to cut out some low end and just give it a bit more push in the mix. Also testing out the dynamics on this, so if I play really lightly, there's definitely some dynamics in this tone. It's very decent and you can kind of get the and let's check out most of the gain on the pedal and tighten up this sound a little bit. And what I want to do here is to go from this intro and then go. Okay, maybe something a bit more aggressive. And more aggressive. Let's go with telly and a rectifier. What is that? Back down the gain. You do need maybe even less bass because it's a rectifier. Just a tiny bit gain. And let's keep testing how Boss IR-2 takes pedals and throws something really heavy at it. First of all, I think I need to probably back down from the rectifier sound, so something pedal friendly. Still do gainy. Bridge sounds good. Okay, this is probably going to work well. All the treble. Oh, yeah. Alright, so I think I have my rhythm guitars covered because I'm going to use the Tele for 2 tracks and then I'm going to use this VHC with humbuckers for other 2 tracks. And because I've had these self-made guitars for many years now, I know they work really well together. So yeah, time to start checking. Alright, the heavy parts have been kind of taken care of with both of these guitars, but what about some sort of chorus, or I want to say it's a backing for the guitar solo? I want to take you someplace else that kind of works with the heavy riff, but also takes you to a different atmosphere for a while, and then we go back to the heavy riff. That's my planned list. And one easy trick to do that is to take a capo. This is tuned to standard E again, and this is what I could play, for example. Some pop chords, but that works, and I can immediately hear that this is probably going to be a bit the Darkness influenced. And let's find a sound. Maybe middle pickup. Maybe the diamond amplifier? It does need a bit crunch to it, I think. Maybe even more. Boosting the volume a little bit. We can actually add some ambience here. Yeah, let's use that. And then we record. Alright, one last thing to do is to record that damned solo, and I'm just gonna lean into the Darkness vibe, and you'll know what I mean in just a second. So for the lead sound, I want to go with something mid-heavy, so maybe like there's a Soldano type of thing. Is it this one? Back down the treble a little bit. And then add an overdrive, cutting out a lot of the low end. Not much gain, maybe slight volume boost. Yeah, that's a good tone. And idea-wise, I think I'm gonna stick with the basics. Just some pentatonic stuff, so... Just need to come up with some phrases. That is very, very much the Darkness. So I'm going to work a bit more on the lead part and probably add a harmony as well. And then do some sort of ending for the song as well. And you're going to hear all of that next. Alright, so what do I think of the IR-2? First of all, I think it's kind of ridiculous the amount of stuff you get in such a small compact pedal and how much thought they have put into this, because it's so easy to jump between the different channels. The fact that if I have like a rectifier amplifier here on this channel, hit this, I get a completely different channel, and I can hold this thing for bypass. All those things, like such clever design choices that just make the usability so much fun and simple. That's what I love about it. It sounds good, but it's also super simple. As you can tell, it takes drive pedals really well. There's an effects loop as well, which is again kind of ridiculous for the pedal of this size. And you can also run it on batteries and use it as an audio interface. And it's one of those Boss products that might not excite you at the first glance, but once you get to know it, oh boy, this thing is amazing. And if you want to get your Boss IR-2, there are affiliate links in the description. Using those won't cost you anything extra, but it helps me to put food on my family's table, so that would be much appreciated. And links and things on the screen that you can click on to see other videos, playlists, things like that. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.